We've been through an incredible journey. We began 20 months or so ago with a country that was a rogue nation that had a boot on its neck, and our goal was to dismantle their program. We've ended up in a situation where the deal that's on the table basically codifies the industrialization of their nuclear program. It's an amazing, amazing transition that has occurred. And yet everyone here, not a person in this room, including our witnesses, everyone here knows there's not one practical need for the program that they're building. Not one. Not one. We've not had a single scientist, not a single witness can lay out any reasoning, not a single reason for Iran to be developing this program from the standpoint of what it means to them from a civil standpoint. Not one. 9 months after this agreement goes into effect, we realize that after Monday's UN adoption, unless Congress intervenes, in 90 days this will be implemented. And then 6 months after that, in a total 9 months from now, all of the sanctions that exist against Iran will be lifted. Incredible. Now, there'll be a few remaining sanctions, but the big ones that matter will be lifted. So they'll have access to billions and billions of dollars. Their economy will be growing. They'll be shipping oil around the world. It's an amazing thing. Ben and I have written a letter asking for additional materials that we don't now have. One of the items we don't have is regarding the agreement between Iran and the IAEA. And my sense is we're never going to get that letter. So the inspection entity that we're relying upon to find out whether Iran is cheating, we're not even going to have access to that agreement. But let me just say this. We do know one of the characteristics is very interesting. There are qualities to this that, unfortunately, I'm told I cannot get into. But there are qualities to this program that would not be unlike causing athletes to just mail in their own urine specimens in the mail and us believing that that's where it came from them. We've all been out to Walter Reed and we've visited these incredible heroes that have lost, in some cases, 2 arms and a leg. Some cases, 2 legs and 2 arms. We see them all over the country. They're living with this today. This is the country that we're dealing with, a country that created some of the most disturbing types and methods of naming Americans that have ever been seen. They tried to kill an ambassador here in Washington, D.C. not long ago. I mean, we know that. I know he's developed a tremendous warmth with Iran's foreign minister, Zarif, and he talks about it often. But what I think you've actually done in these negotiations is codify a perfectly aligned pathway for Iran to get a nuclear weapon just by abiding by this agreement. I look at the things that they need to do, the way it's laid out, and I don't think you could more perfectly lay it out. From my perspective, Mr. Secretary, I'm sorry. Not unlike a hotel guest that leaves only with a hotel bathrobe on his back, I believe you've been fleeced. In the process of being fleeced, what you've really done here is you have turned Iran from being a pariah to now Congress being a pariah. A few weeks ago, you were saying that no deal is better than a bad deal. And I know that there's no way that you could have possibly been thinking about war a few weeks ago. No way. So I'd have to say that based on my reading, and I believe that you have crossed a new threshold in U.S. foreign policy, where now it is the policy of the United States to enable a state sponsor of terror to obtain sophisticated industrial nuclear development program that has, as we know, only one real practical need. That is what you're here today to ask us to support. I look forward to your testimony and the appropriate questions afterwards. Senator Cardin.